Hello, welcome. Thank you for deciding to practice today. We're going to come to a comfortable seated position, finding your sit bones down on the mat with a tall spine, reaching up the crown of the head and the back of the head with a little tuck of the chin to lengthen the neck, and then resting hands on your knees. And let's just take 3 deep releasing breaths here, breathing in through the nose and exhaling with a sigh through the mouth. Twice more. Just taking a soft gaze or closed eyes and taking a few moments to arrive, to settle. Feeling the sensations in your body at this moment. Noticing your energy level. Is it more elevated or more calm? Then just noticing any prominent thoughts or emotions at this moment. Just allowing them to be just as they are. We're going to tap into our creativity, freedom of movement in the body in this practice. Working with movements of the low back and the hips. So we'll just start with some seated cat and cow. We'll inhale, open the chest, and maybe bring the arms up to goalpost arms, opening the chest, looking up, deep inhale. And then exhale, rounding, hands to knees, chin towards chest, belly pulling in. Inhale, opening the front side of the body, the chest, finding space. And then exhale, rounding, hands to knees, chin towards chest. Moving in a way that feels good to you, moving with the pace of your breath, noticing how your body's feeling at this moment. A few more deep breaths here. Just feeling that freedom, that release. Good. And after your next exhale, let's return to seated, tall spine. And let's stretch the legs out, giving them a little shake here. And then we'll cross the legs with the opposite foot in front. So the one that may feel a little awkward. So finding your sit bones grounded, hands on knees. We're going to take some circles with the chest. So let's inhale, come forward over the left knee, over the right, and then rounding to the back. Inhaling forward, exhaling, rounding. Just notice, how is your spine feeling today? Notice if there's any areas that need a little extra attention, and you can always pause and breathe there, and then continuing to move when you're ready. This is a practice to just see what feels good for you. And being a little creative with your movement. When you're ready, reversing the direction of your circles. Good. And after that next exhale, returning back to tabletop pose, tall spine, seated pose, not tabletop. And just maybe soft gaze or closed eyes and notice how the body feels here. Good. And then we're going to come into staff pose. So straighten those legs out. And first let's bring some energy into the toes, pulling the toes back towards the shin, maybe spreading the toes wide. And then pointing the ankles forward, pointing the toes forward, squeezing them in like you're picking up a little towel off the floor, and then pulling the toes back, opening the toes wide. Just making any movement that feels good here, waking up the muscles in the toes and the ankles, maybe making some circles with the ankles. Both directions if you're making those circles. And when you feel a little bit of warming up in the feet and ankles, pulling the toes back towards shin, lifting the kneecaps up, engaging the thigh muscles. And you can have your hands by your side. You're having a tall spine here for your strong staff pose. You can also reach the arms up overhead if that would feel good. If the arms are reaching up, the shoulders are relaxing down away from the ears. And just take 3 deep breaths, feeling the strength of your body here. Good. One more deep inhale. Exhale, folding over the legs any amount. Knees can be bent or straight. And feel that release across the low back and hips. With each inhale, feel the spine lengthening so the crown of head is reaching towards the toes. And with each exhale, your chest may release slightly closer to the thighs, but no forcing. 3 deep breaths here. Good. On your next breath, pressing into the legs, pressing into the mat, lifting the chest up. And let's bend the right knee in. Finding your sit bones, nice tall spine. We're going to take a twist. So inhale, reach the left arm up, twisting to the right. The left arm can grab the right knee or land on the outside of the right knee. Right hand is behind you, a little kickstand behind your back. Finding a nice tall spine every time you inhale and twisting to the right when you exhale, but no forcing. Maybe bringing some movement to the neck, looking over the front shoulder, looking over the back shoulder, and just oscillating a couple of times here. And then landing, looking over the back shoulder, nice tall spine. One more deep inhale. Exhale, unwinding the twist. Starting to bring the right knee down to the mat with the right foot in the inner thigh. Finding a tall spine here. And then exhale, folding over that left leg any amount. Feel that release across the low back, across the hips. Finding freedom and ease in the body. Pressing into the mat, lifting your chest up, straightening out the right leg, maybe giving both legs a little shake here. And then we'll switch to the other side. So engaging, straightening the right leg, bending the left knee, finding your sit bones, finding that tall spine. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, twisting to the left. The right arm can hug the left knee, or the right arm can be on the outside of the left knee. Left hand is a kickstand behind the back, helping you to have an upright spine. And maybe oscillating the neck again, looking over back shoulder, looking over front shoulder. Just doing that a couple of times if that feels good. Good. And then looking over the back shoulder. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwinding the twist, reaching the legs long, giving them a little shake out. And then we're going to come around to tabletop pose. So finding hands and knees, hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. And we'll come into cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly, open the chest, looking forward. Exhale, find your tailbone tucking down, rounding through the spine, finding space between the shoulder blades, chin towards chest. And then just moving back and forth. Inhale, opening across the front side of the body. Exhale, rounding. Just finding all those tight places in the spine, breathing and moving. Moving in a way that feels good for your body here. The next time you're in table, you may want to walk the hands forward and coming as though you're in a kneeling plank, engaging the abdominal muscles here, and then pressing into the hands, bringing hips back towards heels, bringing some movement into the knees and hips and shoulders. And then from that child's pose, press into the shins, coming forward, looking over the front of the mat. And then moving back and forth. Moving with your breath, moving in a way that feels good for you. And you could stay with this front to back or maybe make some circles, bringing the hips out to the right and to the back and to the left. So just moving fluidly, moving creatively, noticing how your body feels at this moment. If you're making those circles, reverse the direction of your circles. Breathing deeply. Good. And the next time you're at center, let's sit back towards child's pose. So bringing hips towards heels, hands overhead, forehead to the mat. You can also stack your forehead on fists if your forehead doesn't quite reach the mat. And just feel your body here, feeling the heaviness of the chest landing on the thighs, feeling hips melting into the mat. Maybe massaging your forehead side to side on the mat or on your hands, just releasing the muscles of the neck. And taking 3 slow, deep breaths here. Good. On your next breath, let's come up to tabletop pose and we'll take downward dog, walking the hands forward, tucking the toes, lifting the knees and then the hips. Walking out your downward dog, bending right knee, pressing left heel down to the mat, feeling that sensation in the back of the left leg. And then bending left knee, pressing right heel down, noticing the sensation. And then just moving in any way that feels good for you. You can always, hi Lucy, you can always stay in child's pose anytime we're doing a downward dog. Slow, deep breaths here. On your next breath, we'll look forward and then step forward, coming into a forward fold. Knees can be bent or straight. Hands can be on the thighs or calves. Pulling that chest towards the thighs, maybe giving your head a little shake, yes or no, releasing tension from the muscles of your neck. Good, and then let's hands to shins. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back, chest reaching forward, hips pulling back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. And then bringing hands to heart center, mountain pose. And just take a few breaths here, noticing how your body feels standing. Feeling the soles of your feet pressing into the mat. Feeling the energy of the calves and the thighs, the hips. Really good. Let's take a side body stretch on our inhale. Let's reach the arms up and lean over to the right. Your hands can be clasped or your right hand can be on your thigh with your left arm reaching over your ear, breathing into the side of your body. Abdominal muscles engaged. 3 deep breaths. Good. Inhale to center and let's switch sides. Right arm over right ear. You can clasp hands or left hand can be on your thigh. Reaching back up to center. Exhale, hands through heart center. 3 deep breaths here. Just feeling your chest opening towards your hands, your shoulders melting down away from your ears. All right, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, bringing hands to the mat, bringing knees to the mat for a modified plank. You can also be in regular plank with knees lifted, heels pressing back. In either place, the fingers are spread wide, the arms are hugging in, abdominal muscles are engaged. Nice long neck looking down in front of the fingertips. Deep inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows, bringing your chest all the way to the mat, and let's come into Sphinx pose. So elbows beneath shoulders, forearms on the mat, lifting your chest. You may want to bring your chin to your chest and rock one ear to one side to release the muscles of the neck, and other ear to the other side. No forcing. Just might feel good to move the neck a little bit here. When that feels complete, bring the chin to center, re-engage with the forearms pulling back, pelvis and thighs pressing into the mat, abdominal muscles pulling in. Deep inhale. Exhale, releasing the chest to the mat, maybe stacking hands on top of one another, bringing your forehead to your hands. Reconnecting with your breath here, perhaps bending knees, giving yourself a little windshield wiper side to side of the feet to release across the low back and hips. Reaching your legs out long if you're windshield wipering. And let's return to Sphinx pose. And you can stay here, or we'll take half bow pose. So bringing the left forearm parallel to the front of the mat, look over your right shoulder and bend your right knee. Maybe your right hand can reach the inside or outside of your right foot. If not, you can stay here with the forearm on the mat, looking over the shoulder and just bending the knee. If you have the foot, press the foot into the hand and feel the opening across the chest, the engagement across the front of the pelvis and thigh. Finding some space and freedom and movement. One more deep inhale. Exhale, gently releasing the foot, bringing the elbows back to the mat, releasing the forehead to the hands, and take some slow, deep breaths here, feeling the release in the body. And it might feel good again to bend the knees and give a little windshield wiper side to side. Good. Reaching the legs out long if they're windshield wipering. And let's come back to that Sphinx pose. And again, we can stay here or moving into that half bow on the other side, right forearm parallel to the front of the mat. Look over the left shoulder. Left hand reaches back for that left foot. And if you get the foot, press the foot into the hand and feel that lift across the chest and opening across the pelvis. Just feeling the energy and vitality of your body being created with these movements. One more deep inhale. Gently release the foot on your exhale, bringing the forehead back to the mat. And it might feel good this time to just roll your heels side to side, massaging across the thighs and belly, giving a little release to the low back. Really good. Pressing up to tabletop pose, choosing to go to child's pose or choosing downward dog. If you're in downward dog, you're lifting your hips. Maybe you walk out the heels again. Just feel that length and release across the low back. Feeling the strength of your upper arms, pressing into the pads of the fingers, lifting the wrists slightly so there's not as much pressure on the wrists. We're going to take some circles with the right hip. This can be done in tabletop or this can be done in downward dog. So bringing right knee to the chest, right knee out to the right, to the back, and then completing that circle. Just moving with awareness, noticing the movement and strength and mobility of your hips here, reversing the direction of your circles. Good. And then releasing, reaching that right leg back for three-leg dog. And let's step the right foot forward. We're coming into warrior two. So right foot forward, lining up with the back arch, lifting up, warrior two. Feeling that right knee pressing out to the right, hips facing a little to the right, and then rotating chest to the long edge of the mat. Fingertips reaching front to back. And then turning the neck to look over those right fingers. Feeling that grounded and support of your strong feet and strong legs. Feeling that lift through the pelvis, through the belly, through the heart. And feeling that release of shoulders down away from the ears. Let's tilt that front palm up, left hand, left thigh. Reach the right hand up for reverse warrior. Feeling the feet still pressing down, still bending into that right knee. Reaching away with the right fingertips. One more deep inhale. Exhale, warrior two. And now coming into side angle, right forearm to right thigh, left hand reaching to the sky, or maybe over the left ear. Feeling that length all the way from the fingertips down to the foot. And now we'll move more fluidly and creatively in any way that feels good for you. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhaling reverse. Maybe bringing that right hand across the body, bringing the right forearm to the right thigh, reaching left arm up and over. And then left arm across the front of the body, coming into reverse. Just feeling that movement along the side body, the strength of the legs. Moving in a way that feels good. Couple more breaths here. The next time you're at center, landing in warrior two, turning to the front of your mat, hands down to the mat, stepping back to plank or table or kneeling plank. Bending through the elbows, bringing the chest all the way down to the mat. And we'll just take some baby cobra here. The hands are by the upper chest, elbows hugging back. Lift the chest, press the pelvis into the mat. Nice long neck, feeling the strength of your body. Building strength in the muscles of posture here. Deep inhale, releasing your baby cobra, pressing up into table, coming into downward dog, or coming into child's pose. Three deep breaths, moving in any way that feels good for you here. And then we'll take those hip circles on the left. And remember, you can be in table. We're bringing the left knee into the chest, left knee out to the side and to the back, and completing the circle. Reversing the direction of your circle. Good. Reaching the left leg up for three-leg dog. Stepping the left foot forward. We're coming into warrior two on the left side. Front heel lined up with back arch. And again, finding those adjustment cues. The left knee is pressing a little bit out, so the knee is lined up with the mid-toes. Pelvis is facing a bit left. Chest open to the long edge of the mat, reaching fingertips front to back, gazing over the left hand. Finding strength in the legs. Reaching the crown of the head up. Head over shoulders, shoulders over hips. So not reaching forward or reaching back, but reaching right in the center. Turning the front palm up, reaching the right hand back, reverse warrior. Keeping a bend in that front knee, reaching away with your left hand. Deep inhale. Exhale, warrior two. And now side angle. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm over head or over the ear. Good. And then we'll take those movements back to warrior two and then reverse. Left arm across the front of the body, coming to the thigh. Right arm up and over. Bringing the arm across, moving to reverse. Moving in a way that's fluid and creative for you, in a way that feels good for you at this moment. Moving with the pace of your breath. Great. The next time you're in center, landing in warrior two, bringing hands to hips and face the long edge of the mat. And let's bring toes in, heels out, open chest, bring the elbows behind your back, looking up. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Hands can be on thighs or calves, or maybe all the way down to the mat. Maybe you want to be still, or it might feel good to bend into the right knee a little bit. And then straighten in the right leg, bending into the left knee. Just see what your body needs right now. Might need more stillness, might need more movement. That is for you to choose. Three deep breaths here. On your next inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Maybe heel toeing the feet in a little bit more, pressing into your feet and coming all the way up to standing, finding mountain pose, arms by your side, and just connecting in with how you feel at this moment. Good. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. On your next exhale, swan dive down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing, pressing into the legs, finding strength. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's just take a couple more of those sun breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands, heart center. Once more at your pace. Reverse swan dive all the way up to standing, hands to heart center. 3 deep breaths here. And then we'll just take a dancer pose. So starting to place your weight on your left foot, bending your right knee, reaching that right hand around for that right foot. You can have your left hand on a wall for balance, or reaching up overhead and staying right here, or maybe bringing that chest forward a bit, pressing the foot into the hand as we did on the floor. Finding your wiggles and your wobbles, building strength. Focusing your gaze on a spot that's not moving. One more deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Hands to hips, maybe bending knee, rotating out the ankles, or swaying side to side, whatever would feel best for you between sides. Good. Finding your weight on your right foot. Focusing, finding a gaze point, something you can look at that's not moving. Bend your left knee. Reach around for that left foot. Maybe you grab it, right arm up overhead. Coming into your dancer pose. If you're wobbling, you're doing just fine. One more deep inhale. Exhale, let it go. Bending knee, rotating out the ankles, or swaying side to side. Just moving in a way that feels good for you. Good, and then let's just take some reverse sun breaths here. Inhale through heart center. Exhale, arms open out to the side and down. Inhale. Exhale, move with your pace, just feeling how your chest and low back, shoulders, hips, how are they feeling at this point of your practice today? Good. The next time we exhale, let's swan dive down to a forward fold. Knees bent or straight. Maybe this time bringing opposite hands to opposite elbows. Maybe swaying the upper body side to side. Feeling that release across the low back and hips. Good. Releasing the hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bringing knees to the mat, coming to seated. And we'll take a bound angle. So let's bring the soles of the feet together. You can bring the hands behind the back so you can kind of find where it's comfortable to sit. And you can bring your hands back here and keep them here, opening chest. Or you can bring your hands to ankles. Or you can start to fold forward any amount. Might feel good to give the knees a gentle, gentle little tapping, little waving of your butterfly, maybe a little rocking side to side, just to find a bit of movement. And you could stay with the movement, or you can bring some stillness and folding here. Couple more breaths here with each inhale. Finding a bit more length in your spine, reaching the crown of your head up or forward. And if you're folding over with each exhale, releasing that chest slightly closer to the legs. No forcing. Good. We're starting to release, pressing into the mat, lifting the chest, bringing the hands to the knees, bringing them together. And let's come to lying on our backs, on our mat, gently bringing the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. And then just feel your hips and pelvis, low back, mid back, shoulders, all meeting and held along the mat. Maybe bringing knees in towards your chest, just rocking a little side to side. Making any movement that would feel good for you before you come into your pose of Shavasana, your pose of rest. When you're ready, reaching the legs out long, arms by our side. Just finding the most comfortable position for you. If you feel any pinching in the low back with the legs long, you can always bend the knees with the feet wide on the mat, with the knees falling in towards one another. And that may take a little pressure off the low back. So finding a place that's comfortable for you. Maybe bringing right hand to belly, left hand to heart. As you breathe in, feel the belly rise. Feel the chest rise. As you breathe out, chest fall, belly fall. Breathing in, belly, chest. Breathing out, chest, belly. Belly, chest. Exhale, chest, belly. Allowing the breath to lengthen and slow. Allowing the body to release and rest here. I'll rest here for a couple of minutes, and I'll let you know when those couple of minutes are over. Starting to bring back some awareness to the body, noticing how your body feels, noticing your breath, noticing any prominent thoughts or emotions, just being aware of it all, letting it be without judgment. Maybe starting to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe rotating wrists and ankles. Reaching arms up overhead, taking a full body stretch. Deep, deep inhale. Exhale with a sigh through the mouth. Starting to work our way up to seated, maybe rolling onto right or left side, pausing for a breath. And then pressing into the mat, lifting up. And finding that comfortable seated position. Hands resting on knees, shoulders down away from ears. That lengthening of the neck, a lift of the back of the head with a little tuck of the chin. And just taking 3 deep breaths here, noticing how you feel. Noticing if there's a bit more freedom in the body and the mind. If there's any tension that's been released. On our next breath, inhale, reach the arms out to the side, palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Thank you for your practice today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.